The truth about these rappers passing revealed. Is there more to these rappers passing than you think? In this video, we reveal the secrets about them passing they don't want you to know. Let's get into it. You're not going to want to miss this one. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Juice WRLD.
Early Sunday morning after suffering a quote medical emergency at Chicago's Midway Airport.
It seems as though 2019 couldn't leave without dealing another blow to the rap world, and in this case it was in the form of 21-year-old rising star Juice WRLD. What made his passing so shocking to many though is the mysteriousness of it all. The official report right now is that he died of a seizure. Specifically, he was coming off of a plane, and as he was processing through the airport, he went and collapsed in a seizure-induced fit. Medical personnel were able to get to him, but at the time it was a little too late. Juice WRLD was taken to a nearby Chicago hospital, but despite the medical staff taking care of him, he was pronounced gone not long after. Many are shocked to hear of his passing and now have to add his name to a long list of recently deceased rappers. The impact of Juice WRLD.
Lil Nas X, YBN Cordae, Trippie Redd, and Lil Yachty shared their condolences.
So what is or will be the impact of losing Juice WRLD? That in part remains to be seen. Many rappers are still only just finding out what is going on with him and his situation, and technically, the official cause of death isn't known. But many rappers are already reacting, such as Lil Nas X, talking about how another rapper was gone too soon. But in truth, what might make him the most remembered was his music, and how it made him go from another voice on SoundCloud to a hit in the rap world, one that had a #1 album at the time of his passing. There was an emotional immediacy to the music, and Higgins is doing more than just spinning his wheels, wrote Pitchfork reviewer Jay Balfour. He sings often in weepy groans and emo snarls that match the blunt rawness of his lyrics. What he lacks in narrative, he makes up for in moody hooks, to the point that the nursery rhyme simplicity of his sing-song couplets can wash away the groaning melodrama of a line like, "I'm on the drugs way too much and needle it into your skull." His legacy is yet to be written for sure, but there will be those who miss him, and that is what matters. Nipsey Hussle.
They're here because he spoke to them in some way, he inspired them in some way, they related to him in some way.
Sadly for us all, the loss of Juice WRLD was not the only loss that we had in 2019. The first one came within a few months of the year with the passing of Nipsey Hussle. This all happened on March 31st. Nipsey Hussle was outside of a clothing store that he owned called Marathon Clothing, a reference to one of his famous mixtapes, when suddenly a person opened fire, and well, you know the rest. The incident occurred in the area of Slauson Avenue and Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, where the store was near. It took place at 3:20 in the afternoon, and sadly, some others were hurt in the incident. Many people stepped up to mourn the loss of the rapper, including a member of the city board. Ermias Asgadon, known to us as the hip-hop artist Nipsey Hussle, was a father, businessman, entertainer, and inspiration to many. Our communities have lost too many young men and bright futures to the scourge of gun violence. For healing to occur, even from this terrible incident, justice must be sought through legal means, and community peace must be found. He's not wrong to preach about violence given the circumstances and the events of the last year or so in the United States, but for many, they didn't want simple rhetoric or a promise of justice. They wanted true justice. They wanted to know exactly what was going on in regards to finding the suspect. Per their protocols, the LAPD remained silent on the issue, but that doesn't mean they were going to be silent for very long, as things were going to escalate very quickly. Ironically enough, some footage of the event was found, but the first video wasn't very clear as to what happened. However, new footage dropped recently of a longer version of the encounter that would eventually take Nipsey Hussle's life, and it told a very dark story of what was going on. Apparently, this wasn't a random encounter. The man in question approached Nipsey Hussle and then got into an argument with him. According to police, they believe that the man believed that Nipsey Hussle was a snitch in some fashion. It's been noted that Nipsey Hussle was part of a group known as the Rolling 60 Crips, and he wasn't shy about saying that, as he even had that on his Facebook page. The argument got more and more intense until eventually the man took Nipsey Hussle's life. Once he was done, he bolted away before he could be captured. Naturally, the chaos of the incident helped him escape, and given that he wore a hoodie and the camera angles weren't the best, an ID couldn't be made on the man. Police believe that he had a getaway car stashed nearby, and that a woman was in the driver's seat when he returned to it. What this proves was that this wasn't a random encounter in no way, shape, or form. Not only did he make sure he wasn't seen visibly by those passing by via his hoodie, he had a weapon on hand and a ride to get out of there, which made this a premeditated event, which is actually a worse crime in the eyes of the law. The impact of Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle passed away, so we want to take this time out, truly, to give a moment of silence. Can we do that?
While not everyone knew the name Nipsey Hussle in the rap world, a lot of people did, including a lot of big players in the rap game. So when his passing was revealed, a lot of people took it very hard, including those rappers. All over social media, rappers from all over came to weigh in on the event and what they were feeling at the time. Such posts included Drake. "My whole energy is just at a low right now hearing this." Drake said in his Instagram post about Nip, "We just linked for the first time in years and said we were gonna do a new song this summer because it had been too long. You were having the best run and I was so happy watching from a distance, fam. Nobody ever talked talks down on your name, you were a real one to your people and to the rest of us. I'm only doing this here because I wanted the world to know I saw you as a man of respect and a don. Rest easy, my G. Meek Mill. Broke me. We're really fighting for our lives against our own kind and really have to take risk and match the level of hatred that we're born in. I'm tired. Prayers for my brother and his family. Rihanna. This doesn't make any sense. My spirit is shaken by this. Dear God, may his spirit rest in peace, and may you grant divine comfort to all his loved ones. I'm so sorry this happened to you. YBN Corday. This is so lame. One of the most genuine and authentic people I've ever met. Infinite prayers to his family and loved ones. Fat Joe. God bless this young man, an entrepreneur that made it from nothing. Opened businesses in his community, sharing hope and opportunity with his people. I pray for his family and all the families that continue to lose beautiful lives due to senseless gun violence. At Nipsey Hussle. What a beautiful guy since day one. Pusha T. Sad to see you go, Nip. I'm only finding peace in knowing you were blessed. As you know, I was honored to share in such an amazing year with you music. We spoke about how they let the real ones in the building and how the Grammys got it right this time. I would gauge everyone's music credibility based on if they mentioned you. Don't pair me or compare me unless they said Party is a rare breed. Self. You definitely are a rare breed, and I thank you for being genuine to me and in your mission to empower your people. Always love. Many more came forward to speak love and praises for Nipsey Hussle, which just goes to show how popular he was in the community, and that his loss truly wouldn't be forgotten. In many ways, that's proof of how successful Nipsey Hussle was, because he touched so many lives that he left a big impact behind.
Did you want to win any of these items on the screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right back into the video.
XXXTentacion.
They just held a moment of silence, but they've been here listening to his music, praying, and lighting candles in his memory.
Moving back to 2018, without a doubt one of the hardest hitting passings was that of XXXTentacion. The young rapper, not unlike Juice WRLD, was starting to really make an impact in the rap genre, and then tragic events came forward and just ruined everything. Everything happened in June when X was out and about in Florida. He went to a motorcycle shop and came out of the dealership in a BMW when he was suddenly followed by a dark SUV. This led to the events we all know the results of. Though the police and an ambulance made it to him, he passed away in the hospital hours later. A statement was given about the events of the day and the loss of XXXTentacion. On June 18, 2018, Jase Onfroy, known worldwide as XXXTentacion, tragically passed away in Deerfield, Florida. The statement begins, "In deference of his family, friends, and loved ones, and in light of further investigation, we ask that their privacy is respected at this time. XXXTentacion touched the lives of millions around the globe and will forever reside in the hearts of countless fans who listened to his music, attended his concerts, and felt the glow of his uncontainable, undeniable, and unique spirit." Naturally, all who heard the news and had a connection with X were devastated by the events, and as more information came out, so too did their grief, and their desire to believe that it wasn't real. No one wanted to believe that such a promising young talent would meet a harsh and violent end, and yet, that's what happened, showing that sometimes the world just isn't fair, isn't right, and doesn't give people what they deserve. The men who took the life of X were captured, and in fact, they were captured not long after the events that took his life happened, making it all more tragic because they couldn't even escape what they did in a good amount of time. They were basically inept, yet they were able to get to him. The impact of XXXTentacion.
Crazy. RIP to X. I love you. You will be missed.
Now it's a bit tricky talking about the impact of X, because if you look at it from the views of the rap world as a whole, they clearly miss him. But if you look at it from other perspectives, he might not be that missed at all. For example, X might have been popular, but he was hardly world famous in the way that Dre, Kanye, Eminem, Post Malone, and many more are. In fact, his fan base actually grew after his passing. Sales of XXXTentacion spiked to record highs after his passing, and more people found out about him because of this event, which isn't unheard of, but it is odd, and a case of someone being more valuable after they passed. But more importantly, X was one of the most controversial rappers of the young generation of this genre, which is saying something given the people he keeps company with in this genre. To be clear, it's not just his lyrics that got him his reputation, though those did indeed help get him that label. Rather, he has had some very unfortunate choices as to how to handle certain problems or issues in his life. Easily one of the biggest of his controversies was a relationship with his longtime girlfriend, Geneva Ayala. The two had a very complex relationship, but by complex, I honestly mean mistreating and other factors. And though X often tried to win her back, it was never enough, and he tried really hard, even making a song that many feel was dedicated to her, including having a person mimic her as she walked through the video to show that she was there in his mind and heart. But again, it didn't matter to her, she had had enough. In fact, she even filed a lawsuit against him, stating that he was not only mistreating her, but did other very horrible things to her. So why did this matter? Well, when X passed on, all of his cases against him were dropped, as is the law, and there were more than just this singular one with Geneva. X was accused of a lot of things by a lot of people before his passing. He was on house arrest before going on a tour. Now if we want to look at this from the rap perspective, then he really was missed. X had a ton of music in the works that never got finished, but a lot of people went to his family and asked for their permission to go and finish the works. To that end, many songs of his were released after his passing, making these tribute songs a key part of the rap world for a time. It's a nice gesture and it showed that many people did respect him enough to make sure his unfinished works got out to the world. Mac Miller. Mac Miller passed away in September of 2018 when police observed his body. It appeared that he passed away because of a substance overdose. He was found within his home in California, and according to reports, he had been gone for hours before anyone even found him in the room. Malcolm McCormick, known and adored by his fans as Mac Miller, has tragically passed away at the age of 26. He was a bright light in this world for his family, friends, and fans. While this was tragic, it wasn't technically surprising. After all, Mac Miller had a very public relationship with substances like this. He even sang about them in his tracks and tried to get better multiple times. I used to rap super openly about really dark things. That's what I was experiencing at the time. That's fine, that's good, that's life. It should be all the emotions. Sadly, it was his emotions that got the best of him clearly because he passed rather suddenly and with no clear warning signs of what was to come. The fact that he had the substances at all proved that he wasn't in a good place mentally, and that can get anyone to do something like this. His passing was a true tragedy, and it was clear that he was going to be another star that passed all too soon under the worst of circumstances. You could say that he is a cautionary tale, one that should be noted in various ways to be a reminder of what happens when you don't treat yourself right or you don't have a good support system. Mac Miller didn't have that, or at the very least didn't have that anymore. The impact of Mac Miller. Here's another tricky one because while not a lot of people openly reacted to the surprising passing of Mac Miller, there was one who had a big reaction to him no longer being here, Ariana Grande. You see, the two of them were in a long relationship once. It lasted about 2 years, which in this day and age is apparently eternity. And when they were together, they had a lot of good moments and a lot of bad moments. Grande claimed that Miller was abusive to her at times, yet also noted during an incident at a concert that shook her emotionally, he was right there by her side and helped her get better. Then out of the blue, she dumped him and publicly proclaimed her freedom from the abusive relationship. And yet when he passed, she was clearly heartbroken, likely because of the way he passed and the question of whether he would have gone this way if she had stayed with him. In tribute to Mac Miller, she wrote a special song called Thank You Next, where she documented all the people she had dated in her life, Miller included, and she referenced to him as my angel, an interesting twist given all they had been through. Furthermore, Grande broke off her relationship with then boyfriend / fiance Pete Davidson and has been single ever since. And there you have it, a look at some of the recently passed rappers and the stories of their passing and the monuments to their names. Which do you think was the most tragic of these passings? Which of them do you take the hardest? Do you wish one of them was still around today making music? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe. I'm King Trending, and RIP to these lost young artists.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.